Lesson 3. What is the root cause of most of the problems in our lives? In the last lesson, I explained why healing is most effective when it progresses from the inside out, and why it's so important to address the root of the problem. I also mentioned that the root might look very different from what we were expecting, and that the solution might be very different from what we were expecting. For example, we may be dealing with a host of real-world problems in our lives, like poor health, trouble in our relationships, financial problems, and so on. These are the things that we see. But when we keep asking why and continue to dig until we find the root, we find that most problems in our lives actually come from the same root. This root has two parts. It's a lack of self-love and a lack of forgiveness. The root answer to most of life's problems is love and forgiveness. For some people listening, they might be thinking, oh, that's way too simplistic and idealistic. But it's kind of like that example of the Jefferson Memorial Building that I shared earlier. The real solution looks different than you might expect. But when you get the right answer to the root of the problem, then a lot of other things take care of themselves naturally. When we love and forgive ourselves and others, most of our other problems disappear. Our confidence improves, our happiness improves, our health improves, our relationships improve, and we release self-limiting beliefs and self-sabotaging, so we become more successful. Let me share some examples to back that up. First, let's look at relationships, loneliness, acceptance, and belonging. Author and researcher Brené Brown spent 6 years of intensive study to find out what makes a difference between those people who are brimming with confidence, happiness, success, love, and belonging, and those who struggle for it. And no matter how hard they try, they are always wondering if they are good enough. The answer to this question came down to one single variable: a person's belief of whether or not they're worthy. In other words, if you love and accept yourself, if you know that you're worthy, then you have a great sense of belonging, and your relationships improve, and your confidence and success improves. Let's talk about money. James Belt is a humanitarian, entrepreneur, and financial expert who spent 3 years in Nicaragua trying to help the impoverished people there. He discovered that even when the people had all the resources and opportunities they needed, they were unable to lift themselves from poverty until they made a mental shift and recognized their own self-worth. They had to love and value themselves in order to rise. When it comes to money, we have to love ourselves and believe that we are worthy of success, or else we limit and sabotage ourselves, even when the opportunities and resources are available. Let's talk about physical health. According to reports by the CDC, 90% of all illness and disease is related to stress. And a major portion of that stress is caused by unresolved trauma. What is the best way to reduce stress and heal trauma? It's self-love and forgiveness. And later in this course, I'm going to show you how to do that. In the book, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hayes, she explains that all dis-ease comes from a state of unforgiveness. And whenever clients came to her with a problem, she didn't care if it was poor health, lack of money, unfulfilled relationships, stifled creativity, or whatever. There was only one thing that she ever worked on, and that was teaching people how to love and approve of themselves exactly as they are. When we really love, accept, and approve of ourselves exactly as we are, then everything in life works. Our health improves, our relationships improve, our confidence improves, our happiness increases. We don't feel anxious or depressed. We stop self-sabotaging, and we let go of self-limiting beliefs. so we become more successful. Everything changes when we love and forgive ourselves and others. Now, that is easier said than done, but don't worry, I'll show you how. In the next lesson, I'll explain some of the reasons why it's so hard to forgive so we can get past those blocks. In closing, I'd like to share a quote by Brene Brown. She said, "The truth is, belonging starts with self-acceptance. Your level of belonging, in fact, can never be greater than your level of self-acceptance, because believing that you are enough is what gives you the courage to be authentic, vulnerable, and imperfect."